Okay, so let's talk about the second derivative. Basically, the second derivative tells us concavity. So when a function has a positive second derivative, that tells us it's concave up, and that tells us visually it's going to kind of look like a cup. So it's kind of going to look like a smile. And then when it's concave down, the second derivative is going to be negative, and it's going to go down kind of like a frown. So kind of think of smiling when it's positive and negative when it's frowning. So next key term to know is what a point of inflection is, and that's when the sign of the second derivative changes. So that would look something like this. So over here, we're concave down, but then at some point, let's say about there, we actually change and we go to concave up. So whenever you're going from concave down to concave up or vice versa, that point is called a point of inflection. Now let's talk about the second derivative test. So this helps us basically classify our critical points that we found using the first derivative by setting it equal to 0. So if the first derivative is equal to 0, meaning we have a critical point, and at that point our second derivative is positive, that tells us that we have a minimum. So again, that would look something like this. If we have another critical point and our second derivative is negative like that, that tells us we're going to have a maximum. And then if we have our first derivative equal to 0 and our second derivative equal to 0, then our test is inconclusive and we have to do deeper analysis. That is out of the scope of this video and we will talk about later. All right, let's go ahead and move on.